I want to show you the top 3 most quirky, most weird marketing books that's going to help you turn into an absolute pro. So look, I imagine you've been on YouTube looking for different books and you might have seen a lot of instructional how-to stuff, but these 3 books have been exceptionally weird, but they've helped me create like quite the digital nomad lifestyle. Look at this behind me. I don't know if you can see that, but this background is Cusco, Peru. Not really exaggerating here, but these 3 books have been absolutely pivotal and helped me go from like $5 an hour copywriter to being able to do this full time, making a decent income, doing this on the road as well. And I wanted to make them quirky and weird because like that's kind of like me, but also to be a good marketer, you kind of got to be quirky and weird because you've seen your feed, right? Those ads, those promotions that really stand out, those are things that are different and not just like everybody else. So if you're looking for that slight edge that nobody else is talking about, hey, you're in the right place. And this first book is called Making Them Believe by Chip Kressler. And the story behind this one is absolutely nuts. Now I gotta be careful with the wording I use here, something weird on YouTube, but the story behind this book was that there was this guy called Dr. Brinkley. He would insert, let's just say, goat's stones into a person's, private parts. And this was a cure for lots of different malfunctions downstairs. And this story is really interesting because somehow or another, like this one person became a raving fan because he couldn't get kids because he couldn't really help. Do I have to paint the picture here? And essentially Dr. Brinkley's procedure helped this guy have a kid. And this started this insane movement, multi-million-dollar charlatan. This book pretty much breaks down the marketing genius behind it. And I'm not trying to say like I'm glorifying a charlatan, but in the process here, there's been 3 really powerful lessons I learned from this book. And the first one is perception is reality. And I love this principle because it basically says you get to create the world, right? You get to say what is perceived. If you have raving fans who say that they've had a kid and you've helped them before and everything else they've tried before doesn't work because of your secret sauce, like, isn't that your responsibility then to like let people know that your way is the only way to do it? And this book's really fantastic at breaking down how Brinkley created perception is reality throughout, when he just started in clinics all the way to like talking on stages to even having his own radio station, which is pretty damn wild to think about what the procedure actually was. And the second big principle from this book is that Brinkley would grant himself credentials, meaning he didn't let like 10 years of medical school or anything like that get in the way of saying he's a genius, pretend to be a doctor or anything like that. I think a lot of people have to like wait around until they get like lots of results, lots of case studies until they feel like I'm qualified. You can go see online, there's people who are grossly underqualified and granting themselves credentials as like the best person in this select niche. So if you're trying to sell something and you're saying like everyone else, but you're afraid to really stand out, like let it know that you're actually really good, self-granted credentials feed into the previous thing that perception is reality. The third big principle I picked up from this book was that Brinkley, he would go out and mail all these like leads, right? He'd send out letters in the mail. And the first, like, there'll be etiquette, it'd be nice. And then what I picked up from this was that after about 4 or 5 different responses, he would then turn up the heat. And by turning up the heat, I mean like he would then like use slightly more direct language to be like, hey, I thought you wanted this, you signed up for this, like, I'm not going to keep spending money on trying to follow up if you just said you wanted this, but you don't want it. This might sound like pushy or anything like that. All this is just basically, how might you use this in your own marketing? Well, I used to follow up with people like 10, 12 times. And then recently I've just swapped like maybe 3 or 4 times. And on the 4th follow-up, and we were like, hey, like, I know that your day's busy, should I close the case on this one? And that sort of chapter that I used from Brinkley being like turning up the heat, just taking away from people, has been super duper powerful when it comes to following up with people because they're actually going to be busy, but getting them to say yes using slightly more direct language. And this is the second book I highly, highly recommend. And it's Kick-Ass Copywriting Secrets of Marketing Rebel by John Carlton. So this book is perfect if you sell a digital course or product and you want to get more people to land on your website, click, opt in, buy your stuff. How do you do that? Well, there's a simple thing called blind bullets. And let me tell you something right now. The state of bullets in the world of online marketing are really, really sad. I was actually scrolling online through this really big YouTuber's sales page for this challenge that he had. And these are the bullets that I saw. Let me read it out to you. They're really bad. How to start and grow a YouTube channel right and get views and subscribers. Okay. The best ways to make money with YouTube, even if you don't have a product or business. How to create irresistible videos that get your audience to click and keep watching. And how to do it all in a way that serves your audience, builds a quality personal brand, and helps you live the life you always want for yourself and your family. Okay, I'm not going to tear down the people who wrote this. I'm not that kind of person, but the person who wrote this copy, probably like $5-10 copywriter. The good news is if you go check out Kick-Ass Copywriting Secrets by John Carlton, it's one of those books where like he has some flavor, he has some personality in it, and the bit on bullets I absolutely love. And I actually use it myself in one of my top freebies that I got for the 4-hour GPT cash campaign, and that's getting about 37% opt-in rate right now. And you can see some of the bullets over here, they're using this 1-2 punch, and this is exactly what John teaches in that book. And today, like, I've checked out so many other marketing books, but nobody actually teaches the art of writing a persuasive bullet. And the reason why I love persuasive bullets is because let's just say you're scrolling through a feed, you're scrolling through a page, there's gonna be like that one thing that just makes you stop and be like, I have to know what this is. And if you have bullets that say stuff like how to create irresistible videos to get your audience to click and keep them watching, like, my God, it's so freaking bad. So let's just say you got a webinar page and you want more people to sign up, or you got a digital course and there's like an opt-in before that and you want people to sign up, or maybe you're selling a digital product course and you want to get people enticed and interested what is inside of it. This is what a blind bullet does. What's the number one thing that a marketer needs to do, right? They need to be able to communicate one to many, and they don't need to be able to sell a product. They've got to make people feel something so they can go take action. So what are the 2 books that I recommend for you to go check out? If you're a little bit sensitive or easily offended, I would turn away right now. It's got some pretty crude themes, so just letting you know before you go check it out. They're written by this guy called Charles Bukowski. So the backstory behind this is that I was writing daily emails, and my copy mentor at the time, he would like to snoop on my emails and he'd be like, hey, this is really good, but maybe you should stop saying it like this, this, and this. Eventually he got a bit frustrated and he was like, I think you should read Bukowski's books. I'm like, why? He's like, just read it, man, and you'll have a look. So I was reading Bukowski's books. This altitude is real, like it's 3,300 meters here, and I'm running out of breath while recording this. But as I was reading Bukowski's book, I noticed 2 really big things that I think is going to really help you out as a marketer. So the first thing was that Bukowski doesn't use a lot of words to convey a lot of stuff. Like, he writes really simply. And I think Mark Twain said, if I had more time, I'd write a shorter letter. And writing concisely, writing with brevity, hey, like, we're all in this world of really short attention spans. If you can do this and you can just like read someone who's really good at doing it before you go do it, like, doesn't it just make sense that it's like the easiest hijack ever? And this is the next part, which I really like. Bukowski does a really good job at making you feel stuff while reading. If you make people feel stuff while reading, it's gonna make people more compelled to like get off their butt and like stop years of whatever bad habit they've been doing or anything else. Rather than just selling like the pleasure and all the good stuff, it's like make people feel stuff and get off their butts. So much more powerful. And this is why I recommend check out Bukowski's books. Hey, so now you know the secrets of the weird Go Dr. Brinkley, and you know how to do 1-2 blind bullets from John Carlton. Why don't we then use these to create long-term profits in your marketing? Well, the good news is that, hey, you should go check out this video over here. It's the A to Z of how to build and monetize an email list. Everything I mentioned at the start, all these books, I've included these principles into my framework for building and monetizing an email list. If you sell a digital course or a product or a service, check out this video over here right now.